Welcome to the Deep Dive. We got this really interesting podcast script sent over, focusing entirely on that upcoming NBA Playoffs first-round series, Indiana Pacers versus the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, it looks like a good one.
So our mission here is, to cut through everything, pull out the key info, and really get a feel for what makes this matchup so compelling. We want you walking away feeling like you've got the inside track.
Absolutely. And what jumps out right away from the script is this is a 4-5 seed matchup in the East. Plus, it's a rematch of last year's first round.
Oh, right. So there's some history there already.
Definitely. Game 1 is set for Saturday, April 19th, 1:00 p.m. Eastern. It's on ESPN, and it's going to be at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indy.
And Gainbridge is going to be rocking, I bet. For the Pacers, this first game, really this whole series, it feels huge for the fan base. First time they've had home court advantage to start the playoffs since, 2014?
Yeah, 2014 is a long time.
Exactly. The script mentions the energy in Indiana is just electric. Tickets are super hard to get. You can just, feel that anticipation.
That home court, especially in Game 1, can be a massive boost. And the script highlights how good the Pacers' offense has been. Second in the East in points per game.
Pretty impressive.
And they finished hot, too. 14-4 in their last 18 games. And get this, 15-3 at home after the All-Star break. They seem to have really found a rhythm, especially in their own building.
Okay, but then you look at the Bucks. They're rolling in on an 8-game win streak. And, importantly, Giannis Antetokounmpo is healthy this year, unlike last playoffs.
Huge difference.
But there's still that massive question mark hanging over Milwaukee, isn't there? Damian Lillard's health. The script says deep vein thrombosis kept him out for the last 14 regular season games. How big of a deal is that uncertainty heading into Game 1? DVT, that's serious stuff, a blood clot.
It's definitely a major concern. I mean, even though the Bucks went 10-4 without him, which is pretty good.
Right.
Lillard is, he's Dame time, a 9-time All-Star. You need that kind of clutch scoring in the playoff. Tight games often come down to guys like him.
So him potentially being out or limited is huge.
Right. Exactly. Although the script does mention he's been practicing fully without restrictions. So there's hope in Milwaukee he might be back, maybe even for Game 1.
Ah, okay. That changes the calculation a bit.
It absolutely could. But if he's not 100% or if he can't go, the Pacers' depth, which we'll get into, could become a really, really big factor for Indiana.
Okay, yeah, let's dig into those key matchups. The script we looked at really zoned in on Tyrese Halliburton versus the Bucks defense. Why is that so pivotal here?
Well, Halliburton's the engine, right? He makes that whole Pacers offense go. The script pulls out some pretty telling stats.
Like what?
Like when he scores around 19 points and dishes out, say, 9 or 10 assists shooting 50%, the Pacers win a lot. Their record's like 39-17 in those games.
Wow.
And even simpler, when he scores 20 or more points, they're 25-3. Just dominant.
Incredible. So the Bucks have to key in on him.
Absolutely. And the script says they'll likely start Patrick Beverley on him. Pat Bev, tenacious defender.
Oh, yeah. He'll be right in his face.
For sure. But Halliburton's got that elite speed, that court vision.
Yeah.
He might be able to exploit slower defenders, hunt for mismatches if Beverley isn't on him, or even if he is sometimes. It's a classic playoff chess match.
And then the other huge matchup, Giannis, going up against the Pacers front court, mainly Pascal Siakam and Miles Turner. The script had some, frankly, kind of terrifying numbers for Pacers fans.
You mean the Giannis versus Siakam stats?
Yeah. Averaging 47 points on 67% shooting against Siakam.
Yeah.
In just 27 minutes of action this season. How is that even possible?
Look, it suggests a pretty fundamental mismatch, right? Size, athleticism, one-on-one, it's incredibly tough.
So how do the Pacers even try to contain him? You can't stop him, obviously, but contain.
Right, contain is the word. You don't shut down Giannis. The script suggests their strategy is going to be throwing multiple bodies at him. Siakam will probably get the main assignment.
Okay.
But expect Turner to use his size and length. Maybe Aaron Nesmith gets some minutes on him too, just to give different looks, try and disrupt his rhythm.
Makes sense. Mix it up.
Exactly. And another factor, maybe underestimated, is the Pacers' pace. They love to push the ball, play fast. Could that potentially wear down even Giannis over a full game or maybe across a 7-game series?
Interesting angle. Fatigue him with pace. Let's talk benches, because the script made a pretty big deal about that. It highlighted the Pacers' depth. T.J. McConnell, Obi Toppin, Benedict Mathurin, saying their bench is a real strength. How does that stack up against Milwaukee's second unit?
Yeah, on paper, it looks like a clear advantage for Indiana. The script notes their bench unit outscores opponents by A pretty solid margin, like 10 points per 100 possessions.
That's significant.
It is. McConnell is just a steady hand, great playmaker off the bench. Toppin gives them instant offense, that athletic pop. Mathurin can be streaky, but he can definitely score in bunches.
And the Bucks bench.
Well, they'll be relying on Kevin Porter Jr., who they picked up, and Bobby Portis is back from suspension. Portis can score. No doubt he's a proven bucket getter off the bench. But does Milwaukee have that same consistent punch and playmaking depth across their whole second unit? Maybe not. The Pacers' bench scoring could genuinely swing a close game, especially late.
Okay, so for folks wanting to tune in, we mentioned Game 1 is Saturday on ESPN. What about the rest of the schedule that the script laid out?
Right. Game 2 is Tuesday, April 22nd. That's a 7:00 p.m. Eastern start, and it'll be on NBA TV.
Got it.
For the full schedule, games 4, 5, 6, 7, if necessary, the script just says check NBA.com. They'll have everything listed there.
Makes sense.
And Game 3, the series shifts to Milwaukee. That's Friday, April 25th, 8:00 p.m. Eastern at Fiserv Forum. That one's on ESPNU and NBA TV.
Good info. And the script also mentioned something about an NBA bracket challenge.
Yeah, just a quick plug for NBA.com's Bracket Challenge, a fun way for fans to get involved, make their picks for the whole playoffs, not just this series.
Always fun to see how wrong my bracket ends up being.
Huh. Tell me about it.
So speaking of predictions and fan buzz, what did the script mention about early reactions or takes? And what about the hosts of the original podcast source? Did they pick a winner?
Yeah, it gave a little flavor of the fan engagement on X, formerly Twitter, some back and forth during Game 1, apparently.
Oh, Rayo.
Yeah, like Pacers fans were excited about their shooting start, 72% in the first quarter, Halliburton with 4 quick assists. But then Bucks fans fired back, pointing to Giannis dropping 12 points on, 80% shooting in that same quarter. Classic fan stuff.
Love it. Any specific play is highlighted?
Yeah, one fan, at Steve Jonas 20, broke down a Pacers play. Halliburton rejecting a screen, hitting Siakam, who then makes the extra pass to Nembhard for a 3, kind of showcasing that Pacers ball movement when it's clicking.
Nice breakdown. Okay, so what about the hosts from the script we reviewed? Did they agree on who takes the series?
Nope, split decision there. One host, Jalen, predicted Pacers in 6.
Okay, Pacers in 6. Why?
Okay. His reasoning seemed to be that Pacers' offense is just too potent. And, crucially, potential issues for the Bucks if Lillard isn't fully healthy or effective.
Makes sense. And the other host?
That was Maya. She went with the Bucks in 7. Her thinking was basically Giannis, his star power, his playoff experience. She thinks that ultimately gets Milwaukee through a tough series, maybe winning a Game 7 on May 4th.
Bucks in 7. Wow. Okay. So differing opinions even among the experts analyzing it, that usually signals a potentially great series.
Exactly. It really sets the stage. You've got all the ingredients, young stars like Halliburton trying to break through, established vets like Giannis and potentially Lillard, that recent playoff history, and really high stakes in the East. It just feels like classic NBA playoffs excitement.
Totally agree. You've got the Pacers wanting to prove they belong, running that high-octane offense, against the Bucks relying on, well, the force of nature that is Giannis, trying to make another deep run. The contrasting styles plus the Lillard question mark. It just adds so many interesting layers.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's going to be fascinating to watch unfold.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, here's a final thought for everyone listening to chew on. When you weigh the Pacers' emphasis on pace and maybe their depth against the Bucks' reliance on the sheer individual dominance of Giannis, what single factor do you think ultimately decides this specific series? And maybe thinking bigger picture,